What's up, guys? This is the Red Panda Context. I just bought this reverb pedal on reverb, which is pretty novel, right? I've actually never owned a dedicated reverb pedal. I don't normally use a whole lot of reverb on my guitar sound, but my buddy Justin dropped a lot of hints saying that I would probably really like this pedal, and we tend to have a lot of overlap in the type of gear that we like. You know, we always talk about using the Axe Effect stuff and things like that, and we were talking about gated reverb, and he said, hey, I've got this pedal, the Context, which has a really great gated reverb mode that I think you'd really like. So I picked it up, and yeah, it's stunning. It's a really, really beautiful sounding reverb pedal. It's pretty much like studio grade reverb in a pedal that's like, where's my big dumb face? A lot smaller than my big dumb face anyway. Essentially, you've got room, hall, cathedral, gated, plate, and a delay mode. The delay lets you blend in delay and reverb, so if you're looking for a pedal that does delay and reverb to save space on your board, this one might be one worth looking at. And I just really like the really cute little logo as well. That totally sold it for me as well. Even if I was on the fence, I'd be like, you know what, it's got a cute panda on it. So what does it do? Let's have a listen to each of the individual modes, then we'll have a listen to some of my favorite ways to use the pedal, and finally, I'm gonna play a loop through it and tweak it, and you can have a listen to the range on offer. The Context by Red Panda, if you're into reverb, of, you know, whether you just want like something to thicken up your guitar sound live, or you want sort of a pedal to play around with for ambient tones, this guy, it's really cool. I like it, and it's got this super cool knob. That's sort of like something you would find on an old Fender amp or something. So yeah, let's have a listen to what the Context can do. Okay, hopefully that little clip gives you an idea of each of the unique flavors of the reverbs in there. I want to show you guys some of my favorite sounds out of this pedal and how I actually use it to get guitar sounds. We'll have a look at some dirty tones in a second, but for clean sounds, two of the modes really do it for me. One is the plate algorithm. So I'll switch over to that, and you've got these two controls here, delay and decay, but for the plate algorithm, they essentially control the low and high decay. So what I like is the delay control at about half, and the decay control at about 1 o'clock or something, with a tiny bit of mix in front of the amp, and I'm using just the tiniest amount of dampening as well. You get this thing happening with a clean sound. Which is really nice. There's a beautiful natural decay going on there, and it just makes single notes with a clean sound really pop out. So that's kind of like for a less over-the-top reverb, but for an over-the-top reverb, the cathedral mode, and absolutely crank the decay. You gotta be really careful with the blend control here. This is in front of the amp again, Not the way I would normally run a reverb, but with this pedal it's such a great effect. Pre-delayed about 9 o'clock and plenty of dampening, and you get this. This is great for swells. Which is really, really over the top, but I love that just for the sort of post-rock thing. I could sit here for days just droning away with this sound. I'm going to pick up my PRS and we'll have a listen to some of my favorite dirty sounds as well. Now the Context is amazing for clean sounds. Most reverb pedals are. It's like a magical combination, right? A Strat, a really nice clean amp, and a reverb pedal. And you can play away for ages, but I really like it for thickening up the tone on distorted lead guitar. So I'll give you an example of this tone I got going here. This is the Fractal Audio Atomica amp model. This is my PRS SC245. This is the sound dry. Now have a listen to that when I blend in at about 20% mix, some gated reverb. I've got the decay at about 9 o'clock and I've got the pre-delay off. There's a generous amount of high dampening as well. And it kind of gets out of the way. I'll give you an example. If I use the Hall algorithm for the same thing, you get this. You can hear that's the cathedral algorithm where the reverb just kind of like, it just decays a little bit too long, and it's not that it's the natural decay that's the bad thing. It's just like, I want all that natural decay up front, but then I want it to cut off. So that's why the gated algorithm is hitting the spot for me if I turn the decay up a little bit more. Yeah, it's just pulling it out of the mix at sort of at the right time. Normally I would use a delay to do this because normally you can have a lot more control with like a delay. Say you set it to 400 milliseconds or something with a little bit of feedback and a little bit of mix. That would be my go-to for a lead sound, but the gated reverb on this is awesome. I could use it for playing guitar solos, which I don't normally like with reverbs because they tend to wash everything out. So that's my favorite application of the Context for dirty guitars. And of course, if you're a post-rock fan, running this in front of a dirty amp with the blend, just a little bit below 9 o'clock, a little bit of pre-delay. I'm on the Cathedral algorithm with the decay cranked. You get a lush, massive wall of sound happening. So if you're a post-rock fan, it does the big, massive, washy kind of stuff really well. Two, especially in front of a distorted amp, the trick there, as I said, is keep the blend really low.